Did you see the Reddit post? I think a month ago with the wife who thought her husband thought she was cheating on her. She thought he was cheating on her. No, he thought she was cheating on him. I'm sorry, Jesus. Okay. And they because they'd done a paternity test because something was happening with her kid, and the husband found out the kid wasn't theirs.
I did see this.
Yeah, and then she found out that the kid wasn't hers either, and was by the hospital.
What'd they do?
The hospital switched babies at birth.
Yeah.
So when she had the paternity test, he demanded one. He had
of course, which is
because
fair.
of the way the kid looked. Like, this kid doesn't look like me. He got really suspicious. Had a paternity test and it wasn't his. And she's like, I never cheated. I never cheated. I would know if I cheated and I didn't. So they had another paternity test and it came back that he wasn't the father again.
Holy shit.
And she's like, I don't know what to do. There was a Reddit, it's one of those where they do updates over time. And so then they had a maternity test and it wasn't her kid either. And they were switched at birth and they think they got money out of the hospital. And
can you imagine the roller coaster ride that you and your spouse would have where one of you feels so like it, like, no, it can't. No. He's like, bullshit. Really he's like, that's not my son. You cheated on me. Like there was a time where he believed that, right?
Yeah.
And then she must have been like, no, I didn't cheat on you. What the fuck? And like where is she at during that? And then like taking that full circle, and both of them at the end being like, we both got fucked by
the final.
So here, let me ask this to the
real
board.
twist would be her finding out that or before it's revealed at the end, she comes clean and she's like, I actually did cheat on you right before the hospital brings the results. And like, actually, we switched your baby. She's like, oh no.
If you're her, do you at any point in this thing have bad vibes towards your husband for him not believing you, for him being suspicious of you?
No, because you were trying to tell him something that you were telling a lie. You just didn't know it was a lie.
Well, I think everybody feels
and he could see through it. Are you mad at him for his lie detecting skills?
I think that this is something I run into a lot for like casual sex stuff, right? Is there are some people, if I hook up with somebody, usually I'll like just ask, like, when was the last time you were tested? Because if I want to fuck you and you want to fuck me and you're willing, probably fuck other people too. Some people, just by the virtue of asking that question, will immediately get like upset. And it's like, what, like, you're either of the mindset where you're like, okay, well, it's reasonable for you to ask these things, or there are a lot of people I think in life that are geared towards like, just the fact that you don't trust me, regardless of what evidence you presented, is enough to make you upset. Is enough to make that person upset. So there are just some people that are like that, I guess. Yeah.
Most people
like, I
are
can't believe you wouldn't trust me, and it's like, okay, well,
that's a real shitty attitude to take. I've never experienced.
It's like, well, I mean, I'd better safe than sorry, and like,
like, or it's like, if you were lying, you would say the exact same thing, wouldn't you? You can't say. I found out a lot. You can't say that in an argument with your significant other because you come off as hyper schizoid autistic. But that's.
That's a horrible situation. Those poor people. Jesus Christ. I wonder how often that actually happens.
Here's the question. What do you do with that baby?
How old is the baby?
It was just like a year or so, right?
You can take that back. You can swap that right. You can swap that right out.
No. He's I know. 5 years old.
I want cash credit. I want cash credit for medical stuff.
Well, that other couple's taking care of your kid.
It depends on the other baby, because you might actually be ahead on that. If that other baby's a sick baby, if you had a sick baby and they raised it to their one and they took care of all the medical bills, that might have been a good investment for you.
Then in that case, it just falls under finders keepers law.
They kind of shorted your baby. They borrowed it, they returned it when it was worth more, and they got fucked on the trade, I guess. Yeah,
it's a bad investment. It's a bad
kid real shitty. You hear about those like fertility doctors who will slip their own sperm in and father like hundreds and hundreds of babies?
Yeah, those Sigma males.
Heroes, yes.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, you gotta say, I mean, he is a doctor.
Yeah, right? Is he a good-looking doctor?
I mean, it's like very sciencey rape. Is what it is. You know,
it's really horrific. You know, like I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like that.
No one would like. He's the only guy in that corner. No one else is like, I get it. Yay!
Yeah, I think there was an X-Files episode where something like that was happening. Somebody was slipping their sperm into the fertility clinic because the kids all had the same genetic mutation where they had tails. And it's like, all right, let's find the one guy who has a tail.
Dr. Ratzman. But wait,
it wasn't me.
So I read the post about the baby that was switched at birth. They don't know what happened to their biological baby, and she's terrified about that reality. Hopefully, like,
I thought there was an update where they said that they had found them and they were reaching out.
I thought that too, but I just read it.
Oh shit!
Maybe
Did we
you
get
can
Mandela
scan it
affected, or
yourself.
did it actually?
Could have got updated.
Thought
We found him, but we didn't. Or her.
Well-
They probably don't even know. Well, I'm sure they knew they had the baby.
Have y'all done 23andMe like an ancestral thing?
Mm-mm.
My brother did, but I never have.
I'm so goddamn white. I pulled up my results the other day. I hadn't looked at them in a while. I think it's 98.9% like Northern European, like English and Irish specifically.
My brother, he didn't like show me the page or anything. He was like, "Oh, I did it," and he did it like a couple of years ago, and they sent him an update, and he's like, "Yeah, like there's a big mix of European, but the only like 2 big ones were like British and Italian."
Yeah, mine is.
I thought I was pretty French. Maybe
I have a
but I guess
tiny
not.
amount of Scandinavian, and then that fucking 2% Neanderthal, which is hilarious.
Well, if you're of European descent, you got a little Neanderthal in you.
Damn.
Usually.
So I haven't done one. My mother did one, and if I have my facts right, and I don't know her percentage of Neanderthal. It's hard to compare it to yours. It was like she was more Neanderthal than 98% of people, or something like that. It was like it was stated in a different way than yours. I don't know if 2% is like slightly above average or like way, and you're 99.9%. Like you see how they're not the same.
I wonder if they were still around, like if they need their own sports leagues because they were like stronger.
I thought they had bigger brains. I thought they had bigger heads, but they were dumber. I don't remember.
I think they had bigger brain and like maybe were they a little shorter and like broad? Like they were stronger. They were like more muscled than us.
They weren't
kind of like Kyle's dog, a little bit.
Oh,
yeah.
Come on.
There's a reason that we persevered and they couldn't.
He watches this.
He watches the
It's all right. He won't understand.
Sorry, Rocky.
If he could read, he'd be upset.
As a Neanderthal, I've done a bit of research on this. They were just as intelligent as you Homo sapiens, and they were they had art, they had jewelry, tattoos, and stuff, and advanced flint weaponry and all that.
Yeah, it was
stuff.
like that cave art though. Like,
there's got to be like a cool racial slur you can use or something. Being 2% Neanderthal, there's got to be something there, right?
We gotta figure this.
You got to figure, yeah.
And we have to like make sure that everyone with Neanderthal ancestry is on board. That we get pissed if people use it. That's our word.
Oh wait, actually,
we're extinct. Like that's how hard we were oppressed.
Just
We were
instantly
extincted.
start fighting as soon as someone calls you a. I don't know.
This reminds me of a really old set of commercials. Was it Progressive? Who had the caveman?
The caveman commercials.
Yeah,
Geico,
so easy
right?
even a caveman could do it. Oh, Geico, yeah.